Welcome to our continuing series of videos on the Viewpoint Host Review tool presented by Peridia Data Discovery. This video's topic is the Near Duplicate Similarity Viewer. This is a tool within Viewpoint that groups documents that are textually similar. The verbiage is basically the same between these documents. These documents did not dedupe out because they were not exactly the same. So let's talk about this. What's the difference? Well, the near duplicate uses text only and does not discriminate on extension. So it can be a Word document, a WordPerfect document, a PDF, whatever. It's looking at the text of the document and it's grouping those documents that are similar. And the threshold is somewhere between 90% or more. True duplicate uses a document hash, an MD5 hash, which is kind of like a digital fingerprint of a file at a certain period of time. So the dedupes, the exact copies of each other, will dedupe out for searching purposes, and what's left are some of the near dupes, those that were not exact duplicates of those documents. From a best practice perspective, this is a great tool that can be used in almost all cases. And what a lot of our clients have done is to run the near dupe viewer tool and then assign that particular tool and the groups that it discovered to one or two trusted reviewers so that they can go through those documents before the documents are released to the general review population. This will allow you to review and tag large chunks of documents very quickly. Some of the advantages, again, you're able to quickly review and tag similar documents without having to read the recurring documents over and over again. For example, spreadsheets, contracts, you may have a contract template to where the only thing you're really changing is the date, the person that the contract is with, some provisions, things like that. You're able to cull out large chunks of irrelevant documents quickly, and you can ensure that documents that share similar text can be tagged consistently. Now that we've gotten an overview of what the near duplicate similarity viewer does, let's look at it in action. You can access the tool in a couple different ways. One, you can go to your menu bar under Tools, Near Duplicate Similarity Viewer, or I can come down to the document window and right click, and you notice I can access it from here as well. Alright, once I access it, I get this screen. This screen is set up with different panels, and let me talk about these panels individually. In the upper left-hand corner is a listing of all the groups that Viewpoint has grouped together by context and assigned them to a particular group. These are documents that are within 90% of each other, contextually. The middle upper window shows what documents are in there. So I've got the 10 documents that range from 90% on up in similarity. To the right, I have my tags, and that's a tag window that I'm going to have in almost every screen that I have in Viewpoint so that I can tag the documents correctly. And then my most important windows are down here in the lower middle of the screen. To my left is my original document or my base document, and to the right is the one that is 90% similar. To the left of the base document, I have got a white bar with red stripes on it that kind of show you where the differences in the documents are. It's kind of a graphical representation of that document, and I can move down, use that red or that green triangle, and head down to an area that's got the yellow bar that shows where some differences are. You'll notice that the documents are currently synced together, and as I scroll down, you can see where the differences highlighted in red are between the original or the base document and the one that's being compared at 90%. I can also scroll to the right and see some of those differences as well. Okay. Now, as you look at the documents, you can see that there's a lot of red mixed in with the black, and sometimes those can be hard to see. One of the great things about this tool is I can use a difference only, and it will highlight just the differences. So now I can scroll that document and just see the differences, and just look at those differences and review those differences. If the document is close enough in context to the base document, they can be tagged the same way. So as I continue to scroll down the document, I can see where my differences are and just review the differences. Another way to look at these is to compress all the differences so that all of the differences on the last document on the right are brought up to the first part of the document, so I don't have to scroll through everything. Now, this may not always be easy to see what the context of those differences are, but it at least gives you a quick indication of what the differences are, and from a first glance see if they're important or not. From this point, I can mark the appropriate documents, and in this case I'm going to mark them all. I'm getting this screen, do a Control A, and mark all the documents. It is also important to note that I have different file extensions. Let me click on here again. I have different file extensions, so I have a Word document, but I also have WordPerfect documents. So Viewpoint is looking at the context of the document, not the file extension. So whether it's Word, WordPerfect, PDF, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's comparing documents with like context. Okay. Now let me mark these again. I can highlight all those, and now I can tag all of those guys at the same time as non-responsive. I can click OK, and now those documents will be tagged as non-responsive, and I can move on.